this is gonna be our final result. Let's start. The first thing we're gonna do is create an empty, add the three components needed for a particle effect, which are particle effect, particle sprite renderer, and ring emitter. So now to show it, I need a sprite, which I create from a .png file. Just right click it, create sprite, save. Then drag it into your particle sprite renderer. You notice things will start showing up. Go to ring emitter and reduce the radius to 1, so it's all together. And go to duration, make it 2, burst, reduce to 10, ending rate, but 100. It's starting to look nice. Now this is where the magic starts. Look, just put a shape component into our particle effect. That's at the curve, which is where the magic starts. Let's put it to between 3 and 1. Now we're gonna add color to it. Click the plus, add color, choose those options, and start creating a gradient. Click right below the rectangle to create a new slider. Choose these values, like 150, so it shines. So now we already see a difference it makes. It really gives life to our effect. So now, to incentivize you to be creative, I'll show some interesting stuff you can do with it. Look, you can increase the radius even more to 50. Make it thin. Oh, now we have a circle aura. Let's make it slightly bigger with a fixed size now, like 10. Another effect you can create is make it move along the ring, which is very nice. So let's put angle start between lerping between 0 and 360 and change the angle to a small amount like 5, 2, 5 is okay. Remove the initial burst, reduce the rate. Now you have a nice spinning aura. So now that we have our effect, how would we use it in a game? I'll show you an example to make it easier for you. So we would generally use a medkit or something like that. So to get that, we go to Asset Cloud by clicking here, type medkit, medkit, and just drag it into the scene. Now you have your medkit. Then after you do that, you need to make it a collider. You need to put it into a collider. So so our player can interact with it. You see it already has a model collider because it comes from the cloud. Then we click is trigger. Now we are gonna need to have a player, and we're gonna need to turn our aura into a prefab, which basically make it reusable so we can spawn it inside our player. So let's first create our player by right clicking, create player controller. It goes, nobody knows where. Let's right click, preset. It's way too big, but let's leave it like that for now. Choose our aura, press F2 to rename it as heal. Create a new folder, call it prefabs. Drag your heal into our prefabs folder. That's it. Now you have a reusable heal. Now to make our player touch our medkit, we need a trigger listener in the medkit. So for that we add a component, call it medkit component. I have previously started here. So what we need to have is a trigger listener which implements this interface. So when other object touches our medkit, we will first show an error message so we see what's happening. Then we'll check if the object has a player controller. Because our player component collider is a child of it. So let's see. Let's just click general and show colliders. You see now what it is. So that's why we need its parent, which is actually player controller, to find it. I have to start and see if it's detecting it. Look, have a error message, which means the collision is working. So now that we have our collision working, what we're gonna do is use our prefab to spawn the heel inside the player. Let's do this. For that we need to change the code by adding stuff right here. We need a property that will hold our prefab to spawn. So let's start public game object medkit, not medkit, heel prefab. So now we need to spawn it inside our player. We'll just do this. So we're gonna use the clone method to spawn it inside our player. Let's just create the code now. Here prefab.clone, and then it's our parent, which will be other.gameObject, which will be our player. Then the position inside our player, which will be 0. So I just create a new vector. So now it's inside our player at 0 position at center. Then we will tell it to be not rotated, so we use rotation.identity. This is a bad autocomplete. Damn. Then the next parameter is scale, which I just set it to 1, 1, 1. Now let's go back into the game. Press F. So now we will, inside our medkit, we'll have an option to load our Hero prefab. Just drag it right here. Save and press F5 to play. Look, it's already spawning our inside us. But maybe you wouldn't want every time I spawn it, it creates another one. Probably you don't want that in your game, right? So we will just make it a single use aura like this. Open our Hero prefab, go to emitter and click destroy your name. So we'll just play once. Oh, sorry, I have to stop the loop. You just play once and then die. Let's show. Look, it disappeared. See? Let's make it bigger so it's nicer to see. So yeah, that's it.